Today, we're going to tackle about conservation of our natural resources. So, first, what is conservation? Conservation. Conservation means saving and economizing our natural resources for the future use. So now, let's manage and save our natural resources. Of natural resources. First is the renewable resources, those that can be used and replaced. This includes the plants and the animals because they can reproduce and replace themselves. Soil can be considered a renewable resource because crops can be grown on the same land for many years. Next is the non-renewable resources. These are resources that take millions of years to form and their supplies are being depleted faster than the new supplies can form. This can be stored for future use. These include iron, petroleum, and coal. Next is recycled resources that can be used once or more. Example is aluminum that can be used to make containers and then processed and reused. The last one is inexhaustible resources, which are considered limitless because they are always on the same amount present on Earth. Examples of it are sunlight, water, and air. However, some areas are short in supplies of fresh water. So now, let's conserve our natural resources.
Resource is the soil. How can we conserve the soil? First is preventing the soil erosion. We can prevent soil erosion through planting more trees. Second, building dams to control flood water. The third one is planting more trees to break the force of winds. And the fourth one is proper ways of farming, such as contour farming. Contour farming is farming alongside slopes where the land is flowed across or at right angles to the slope and plants are in rows. And the second kind of farming is terracing. Terracing, where the slopes are very steep, is as in tall mountains. Terraces are made, such as rice terraces. And the fifth one is strip cropping. The land is divided into strips, which are planted with different kinds in rows. Is the sixth, the preserving soil fertility. How can we preserve the fertility of the soil? We can use organic fertilizers. Animal manure is mixed with the soil. Second is green manuring. Parts of plants like stalks, leaves, and stems are allowed to decay and mix with the soil. Third is following, allowing soil to rest and or stay idle for some time. Fourth one is crop rotation, in which different crops are planted in a year to prevent depletion of soil nutrients. And the fifth one is mulching. Mulching is covering the top of the soil with hay, straw, or grass to minimize the evaporation of moisture. Such as covering is called a mulch.
In fact, water makes up about 75% of our Earth, and water helps us in many ways. So, it is only appropriate that we conserve water. So, how to conserve water? I have here 5 methods to conserve water. This is known as F, B, K, C, and P. F. F for fixing all leaking pipes. So for example, there is a leak in here. We need to fix this to conserve water. Second, building dams. We should build dams to collect the waters accumulated from the rain. Third, keeping all water sources closed. If ever you'll pass by an open faucet, we should be a responsible citizen to close it. Next, C. C for collecting rainwater. In any case there is a rain, we should have our pails and basins to collect them. And last but not the least, we should plant more trees. Why do you think so? Planting more trees helps absorb water and prevent it from evaporating faster.
Is collecting water during the rain shower.
Natural resources is the forest. So why do we need to conserve the forest? Of course, we need to conserve the forest because it serves as home for our wildlife resources. So I have 7 ways to conserve the forest. First, we should only cut trees of the right size and age. This is known as selective logging. Second, when cutting trees, we should require permits and licenses for cutting trees. Third, we should plant more trees to replace those that are cut, or this is called as reforestation. Fourth, installing forest guards to protect the forest from fires and illegal loggers. These guards will look after the forest every time so that illegal loggers can't come in. Next is adopting methods and practices of protecting the trees in the forest. And the sixth, we should create new forests, manage the forest wisely, and prohibit kaingin system. That way, we can preserve and conserve our forests.
Are prohibiting fishing with poison and dynamites, prohibiting fishing and hunting when animals are laying eggs, creation of national parks and game reserves for animals, issuance of permit and licenses of hunting, placing hatcheries where eggs are placed.
Minerals.
Minerals are non-renewable. They cannot be grown within a lifetime like trees and animals. Nature cannot replace them once they are removed from Earth's crust. Unless we learn to use these mineral resources wisely, the future generation will suffer their loss. And now, I will give you some of the ways to conserve. Next, encouraging actual saving of materials, recycling or use of all possible products, reducing waste by working for maximum recovery of metals for mines, controlling corrosion and using alloys. And third, mixing expensive minerals with less expensive ones. And the fourth, substitute or also reduce the amount of valuable metal used such as of nylon and the other synthetic fibers as substitute for metal wires.